And I'm now in broadcast mode.
Good morning. Thank you for being here today. Today we have Dave Nelson, a very special guest. He is a Senior Business Solution Manager with the Michigan Manufacturing Technology Center. Joining the center in 2013, Dave worked directly with the manufacturers in Wayne and Monroe counties. He is a seasonal professional with experience in identifying opening new market opportunities and increasing market penetration in existing markets. He also has an extensive experience in generating growing new business and selling intangible services. Prior to joining the center, Dave worked at North American Bancard, where he was a director of business development and partnership alignment. He also previously worked at JGA Incorporated as Vice President of Business Development and Client Strategy. Prior to that, Dave also worked at OCP Incorporated, which is a specialized molder of plastic and foam products, servicing the sporting goods, automotive, medical, and juvenile product industries as their national sales manager and then president. And with that, I ask that you give Dave your full attention. Help me in welcoming him to the webcasting platform. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Dorothy, and thank you so much for that great introduction. As Dorothy said, I am with the Michigan Manufacturing Technology Center, and that's a mouthful. Some people that know us as MMTC, and some recently we are trying to rebrand ourselves just to be the center. Interestingly enough, when we were looking at the rebranding, I really was pushing to get the word technology taken out of there. But now with this Industry 4.0 and how technology is actually helping companies greatly, I'm glad I lost that bid. So let me just give you a little overview of who we are so you understand the breadth of services that we have. So the center, we provide services that help companies with cybersecurity. We have a growth division here. We help companies with operational excellence and lean and quality control, leadership development, skills development. We have a full 4-people research team here that help companies identify new markets to grow into. And 4 or 5 years ago, the governor asked us to help with food processors, apply our knowledge of process control to the food processing industry. Now, we are a nonprofit organization, and so we focus solely in Michigan. So as you can see, we're headquartered in Plymouth, and in our Plymouth office, we have 50 full-time employees, 38 of which are subject matter experts in their specific field, whether it's lean, whether it's process control or growth. We have an office in Grand Rapids. We have one up in Saginaw. We have one in Traverse City. And then we have a couple of people running around chasing some elk up in the UP. So we are a statewide network. Now, I know a lot of people probably are on this webinar that aren't in Michigan. We are part of a national network called the Manufacturing Extension Partnership. So there is a firm like us in every state in the union, doing pretty much the same thing. Some have some specialties that are a little bit different than others, but we work as a national network as well. So if you are in another state and you would like more information about the MEP in your area, please feel free to reach out to me and I can direct you to the MEP down there. So technology can impact your operations now. And I say that because I want to talk to people about how technology has changed. And this is what this next slide kind of shows. In 2012, a flat screen high definition TV cost $8,700. Now you can go to Walmart and get them for under $600. Digital storage back in 2012 was $11 a gigabyte. Now it's less than a penny a gigabyte. It's hard to believe, but 5G was only launched just about 2 years ago. And a recent report said by 2021, more machines will run 5G than phones will. And I put this slide up here because I want to put it in perspective, that you might have had a great idea and utilized technology, and you might have thought of this 2 or 3 years ago and say, oh, I can't afford it. Now you should take a look at it again because you might be able to afford it. Technology is driving things, is making things less expensive, more readily available to everybody, the small company to the large company. So I don't want you to, people say, oh, I can't afford technology, it's way too expensive. If you think about and try to plan for it, it might have some solutions out there for you. A term that has been bouncing around for quite a bit is the term Industry 4.0. What is that saying? Well, they're saying that there's been 3 evolutions of industry. You have the Bronze Age, and then you had the second stage was the assembly line. Then the third stage of the advancement of industrial revolution was PLCs, and now the 4th stage of the industrial revolution, Industry 4.0, is about how things communicate, connect, and talk to one another. So on this, as you can see, there are 9 nodes on here, from cybersecurity, augmented reality, big data, automation, additive manufacturing, simulation, system integration, cloud computing, and Internet of Things. I want to just kind of break it down and just focus on a few of them. First, cybersecurity. I want to talk about that because that is quite an important element. Next, I group these two into helping or being smart. So cloud computing and system integration. Then I next group Internet of Things and big data into automation. And how can that be valuable? And then the last one, naturally, automation and robotics. And so I just wanted to kind of group some of these together. I did not include, additive manufacturing. I'd be happy to talk about that, or virtual or augmented reality, although I'm going to actually speak about that a little bit as well. But I just want to kind of group these together to make it easier for people to understand where we're thinking here. All right, there's the next slide. So smart. This is really about dashboards and connectivity. And so I put on here a picture of a dashboard. You can see right here. Dashboards provide you with instant information right at your fingertips. And these dashboards you can get, as you can see, here's a few dashboard programs. You can go get, download them. Some are very low cost. Some are, have certain focuses. But dashboard can give you the information you're looking at in an instant, in a very visual orientation that we're looking for. So we really strongly believe in dashboarding and how it can help you. A great example is, and I put on here another one, the QR code. I think everybody has seen a QR code. It's been around for years. And although it's been around for years, it's still an advanced technology. So how do you utilize some of this? So I have, let's see here. You can see, so with the QR code, you scan your phone and you can, it'll bring up the web page or the link that you have embedded into the QR code to see specific information. So here's some examples of potentially how to use it. If you are a business, you run a you own a building, put a QR code on your furnace. That way your maintenance team can scan that QR code and you can have all the data that when's the last time you changed the filter, when's the last time you did the maintenance on it, all right in their hands so they can see it instantly. Instead of having to go back, find it, print it, bring it down to where they're doing the work. I have a client who has a salon and they have a QR code, so every time they're done with their haircut, the salon, stylist scans her QR code and it helps them track throughput and flow on their productivity. It's a simple little step for them to do, doesn't take a lot of time. One of the things that we're doing a lot of work with manufacturing companies on is utilizing Microsoft Power BI, which is a dashboard program. And that's what this is showing, a Power BI screenshot. Power BI is is great because it can pull data from Excel spreadsheets and compile it into a visual aspect like you're seeing here. It can pull data from your ERP program or QuickBooks or whatever and compile it into data that you want to see, so you don't have to go through 16, 17 different programs to see what the data you want. And what's great about it, it updates itself automatically. So if that Excel spreadsheet that you're keeping on SharePoint was updated, your data on your Smartsheet was updated. So it makes it very strong, powerful tool for you to be able to run your business right now with real information. I grouped this one into helping. Now these are two, I want to say, assisted or augmented reality programs. The first one up here is called Tulip, where this guy is touching a tablet. Tulip is a great little program, fairly inexpensive actually, about $2,800 for the licensing on it. What you do in Tulip is you can record the steps to do something and then put in stops, so you can't proceed until you have said, yes, I have done that step. So for a great example, let's go back to I need to check the air conditioning units on all my things. So, and when I check them, I got to check the belt. I got to check this. I got to check this. I got to check this. You put all those checks and stops into Tulip and you do them. You can actually have a video. So the person can watch the video, maybe a 5-second video on how to change the filter. Then it says, did you change the filter? He has to push yes. And then the next step, did you change the belt? He sees how to change the belt. If he knows how, he can skip the video and say, yes, I changed the belt. It helps you, it helps in a lot of different cases, especially when you're having a hard time finding employees. Or a lot of times I've got a client who is using Tulip now and is thankful she has it because a lot of her older employees are leaving, are retiring. So she has recorded the best way to do each project. She bends tubes for companies. And so she might be bending a tube for a client that they don't see for another 2 or 3 years. So when this client now comes back, she has the video of the best way to do it, how to set up the machine. So now she has somebody who's never seen that product before, knows exactly how to do it the right way, reduces her scrap, reduces her training time. It's a very valuable tool. The one on the bottom, this is a Michigan company, which I'm very proud of. They're in Novi. It's called Light Guide Systems. And it takes Tulip to the next step. As you can see, it's broadcasting a picture down on the table, and it's saying, okay, put your hydraulic pump here. It will not allow you to do the next step until you have put that there, and the light guide will measure the part, see the part, and say, yep, now it'll tell you the next step. And it will flash, let's say, a little light on this box here and say, pick up 2 of those and put them in onto the part. This is a great training tool, because if you are doing something that is a repetitive product, in manufacturing, you have it up to tack time. What's your speed to do it? Well, speed is all about muscle memory. And what this Tulip is, when I know a client is doing mine, is they're using Tulip, or Light Guide system to train their people before they put them on the assembly line, so they have the muscle memory to do it at speed versus I have to slow the line down because I have 3 new people on it, and that reduces their productivity. Again, so they're training them in advance to do it at speed, so now they're more adept to do it right the first time and at speed. So a couple of questions, maintenance instructions, as I said. I know Tulip's being used by a number of hotels for cleaning checks. I cleaned the bathroom, I have to push check. I made the bed, I have to push check. This also tracks their time to do things. So you can then see where it'll provide you the data. So you can see where there's variations. Oh, second shift is doing step 2 twice as long as first shift is. There's a reason why. Let's figure it out so we can then resolve that problem. It's all about helping with data and collecting data and utilizing that data. Automation. Oh my gosh, sensors are fantastic things to implement right now. We've all heard home automation, and it's at the bottom of a digital or internet thermostat. I put one in my house just over a year ago, and the savings were well over $500 in the first year for a $45 digital thermostat. Right now, sitting in my office, I can turn on and off my air conditioning or my heat, which is great. So when I'm not at the house, I set it so the air conditioner isn't running all the time. Yeah, you can do that with the little dial ones. They're just not as effective as seeing it and doing it right on hand. These are fantastic ways to save quite a bit of money, is looking at how do you take home automation ideas, automatic lights on, automatic lights off, and apply them into your business environment. The top chart here, it shows where sensors, all the variety of types of sensors you can get, from machine vision to wind, temperature, humidity, water, weight, leaks. I say that because it's something to think about. So 5 years, so here at the center, we put some sensors into our facility. 5 years ago, these sensors probably cost about $3,000 a piece. That's why I had that one of the earlier slides. Now they're under $300 a piece. For example, we just helped a company who runs equipment that's probably World War II surplus equipment, if I had to be nice about it. And what we did is we found some sensors for them because they were having their motors were breaking down that were running the machines often. So by figuring that out, we put some sensors, helped them install some sensors on these motors that are not new. And the sensors would send a text message to the maintenance person if that motor was vibrating, running hot, or had gone 1,000 hours in runtime without any maintenance on it. By doing that, once you know the motor is vibrating or running hot, you know there's something's going to be happening to it. So the technician can prepare, go get the bearings in order, go get something before that machine actually goes down and causes lost downtime. Here at the center, we put sensors on our HVAC units. We have 5 of them on our building here. And it's going through airflow on every one of the units. So now we know when the airflow dips below a certain point, we know that the filter needs to be changed. It also tells us which units are working harder than others so we can understand and reprogram them to work even more efficiently. We also put sensors in our facility. We have a lot of windows, and we easily put sensors on our window shades. So when the lumens, the light gets so high, the shades will automatically go down. This keeps the temperature down in the room, helps with our electrical bills, but it's just a way to make it automated. Make it so you don't have to think about it, and it's helping you do something that would be of value. Don't want to forget about cybersecurity. So all these things are talking to one another. They're connected to one another. Cybersecurity is something everybody should be looking at, thinking about what should we do about it. In June 2020, a Honda plant was shut down for half a day due to a cybersecurity attack. And the attack didn't go to the Honda plant directly. The attack went to their brake supplier. They got into the brake supplier and then into the Honda facility to shut the facility down. 43% of cyber attacks are targeted at small businesses because they know they're the easiest to get to. I can tell you, I've been at the center for 6 years now. I personally know 6 companies in Wayne and Monroe County that have been subject to ransomware. And you wouldn't think that because I'm a small manufacturer. What are they going to do? They find you somehow. They're saying that $5 trillion in data breach costs by 2024. I mean, that's just staggering. Now, here's something that anybody who's supplying critical information, critical parts, services to the Department of Defense or military needs to be aware that the Department of Defense and military contracts, they have implemented that everybody needs to be compliant to a cybersecurity, and it's actually more of a document control protocol called NIST 800-171. Now, this protocol has 103 lines of things that you need to do to protect the documents that are classified or that the government, the DoD, deems essential or classified, to protect them from being stolen, hacked, or whatever. And so we help a lot of companies who are military contractors work through their cybersecurity compliance. And this NIST 800-171 isn't just about computers. It's all about how do you control your data from everything from, are there locks on your recycling bins? Do you keep your doors open? How often do you print the documents? In cybersecurity, this story just frightened me. I was speaking with a colonel, and he was telling me he contracted with this cyber security firm he said, they were having the race from Chicago to Mackinac, and the Navy was bringing a small destroyer or whatever kind of ship in to be in Chicago at the harbor for the start of the race. And so he contracted a crew of cyber experts and said, I want you to see if you can hack this brand new ship. Lo and behold, these guys were in Milwaukee. They got into the ship's main control because they were able to get in on somebody's cell phone, and that allowed them to break into the codes, into the main control. And as that ship was passing by Milwaukee, all of a sudden, these hackers were able to turn all the guns facing Milwaukee and started the firing sequence. The captain of the ship could not do anything about it. And they said, cell phones and machines and everything that's connecting to the internet it's giving you ports and access to routes of information. So cybersecurity is essential for people to think about these days. So how do you start? That's always been a big question. How do you start? This is kind of our approach on how we look at things for companies. We have a team here in Michigan that will assist Michigan manufacturers on evaluating if technology is something that you should look at. I tell people that technology is something you really want to look into now because it's not that expensive. So the first thing is identify potential. If I did this would be great. If I could get a system that would weigh these parts so I don't have to go hand touch them every time to see if they weigh enough, and it says pass go, that would be great. Also, then the next step we say, okay, understand the voice of your business and the customer. If this is going to cost a fortune, it's not probably going to support the voice of the business and voice of the customer. Then we start to tell you, let's look and create a vision. What is a full vision for technology within your environment? Because you want to create the vision. Let's say you want to do this thing about with the scale, but you're also thinking in the future you want an ERP system or something. Well, let's understand that full vision so we can then draw, kind of create a map, a blueprint, and then let's start small. But it would support that map and blueprint that we started, because starting small, you get the successes that will build on to the next success.
Hello,
So
Dave. Hello, Dave. We have about 2 minutes to wrap up.
Well, I have done
Awesome.
then. So I'll be happy to address any questions, Dorothy.
Okay, great, great, great. So it looks like we have 2 questions in the chat box. And question number 1, it says, are you able to provide contact information for the companies mentioned?
Like Power BI and
Tulip, White Guy?
yeah, I could. Yeah, I can easily send that out to people.
Awesome, awesome. The next question, do you know how long it took Honda to reactivate operations after such?
Yes, they were down for 2/3 of a day, according to the article I read.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We do have a few more questions for you. We have about, let's say, 2 minutes. So the next question, can you share information and or additional information regarding grants and programs that MMTC have available for companies?
Yeah, there's a number of programs that we have, and then there's some programs outside of our control that I know about. So one of the things I stress with everybody is my job is kind of like Dorothy's job. I'm here to be your business advocate, and I know a lot of different things, and how can I help you enhance your business? So, for example, during this COVID, we were awarded a new grant called the D3+. Now, this will only apply to Michigan manufacturing companies, but the D3+ grant will help you. It will pay for some of the cost of identifying an opportunity, training or installation of that opportunity. So let's say you want to get a robot. We would, the D3+ would pay for our services to come in, evaluate if that's the right robot, how do you get that robot, you know, and then installation and cost of that. It will not cover the cost of the capital expenditures for it, but it will cover those costs. We also have another program in here that we're offering. It's called the Operational Excellence Voucher. So last year, like I said, we get funds. We're a nonprofit. We get some funds from the state and some from the federal. We hit our goal from the federal, so we took that bump that we had and turned it into this opportunity. The Operational Excellence Voucher is for companies we haven't worked with in the past year and a half, and it will grant them 50% off on their next application with us. Okay. So that could be a big project and helping them do a lot of things, or it could be as simple as sending some people to a black belt or a green belt training class.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dave, for sharing with us today. We're excited that we have our guests here with us this morning for the No to Low Cost Services and or Innovation Technology processes for businesses. So again, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. And we hope you have a fantastic afternoon.
Great. And if you need me, then my contact is there. Please feel free to reach out to me.
Have a great day, guys.
Thank you for your time, everybody.